Video 2. I want to talk about the Ford Lightnings. Those are my favorite trucks of all time. Maybe one of my favorite vehicles of all time. I made two generations of them. They made them in 1993 through 95, and again the second gen was 99 through 04. My focus is on the first gen, 93 through 95s. I was 12 years old when I saw my first Lightning. We saw it at the dealership and was instantly hooked on these things. Just the look of those trucks versus a standard F-150 was just night and day. They came lowered 1 inch in the front, 2.5 in the back, upgraded suspension, GT40 heads, had some like tubular headers put on them, but I mean nothing crazy, but just something to give it a little more performance. As far as performance goes, they came with a 351 and believe that it was like 240 horsepower, excuse me, because this is the 90s. 240 horsepower, maybe 340 on the foot-pounds of torque. So it was a great truck. By today's standards, you know, it is what it is, but back in the day, these things were king. Ran the quarter mile back then at 15.6, I think is what, if you look at it, it's not exactly impressive, but these trucks were engineered beautifully for the time, and they've held up well if you can find them. The interiors were decked out a little bit different with the bucket seats. They had the dual seat stitched logos on them. Center console or a jump seat was available. What else would have been there? The tube bumper versus the standard bumper. You get a painted bumper or the tube bumper on the back. Sliding rear glass. It basically was a really beefed up XLT that was just jaw-dropping. I did love that truck. Wanted one forever. They only made, throughout the years, I think, I actually wrote it down, 11,563 total for 3 years, right? And in 93, they only made red and black. 2,691 reds and 2,585 blacks. Throughout the years, when they added the white in 94, they made 1,382 red, 1,165 on the black, and then introduced the white with 1,460. So they made more of the white. And then in 95, the last year of that body style Lightning, production went a little bit lower. 824 on the red, 695 on the black, 761 on the white. Reason I'm talking about these is they're, to me, are rare. They're hard to find now. If you find them original, they're through the roof expensive, great. If you find them completely, it's hard to even call them a Lightning, just all decked out or weird paint jobs. It kind of, to me, they're ruined. To other people, they're beautiful. I'm in between. I like them fixed up a little bit. Maybe you put a stroker motor in there. Maybe, you know, you've done something. Maybe you put a supercharger on it. That's, you know, beautiful to do that in the first gens like that. The reason I talk about all this right now is recently I came across a barn find Lightning driving home from work. Saw it from the road, saw the two bumpers in the back, which is just sets you off that you know what it is, and it was sitting there just dying. Through some good luck, my wife's family happened to know their family really well, and they were selling this truck. They wanted $1,500 for this truck. That's it. It did not run. They've been kind of stealing some parts out of it and putting it on some Super Duty, like a 96 F-250 or F-350. I don't know what they were taking out of it. I didn't care to ask. It did run when they parked it. It said 12 of 17. So I don't know when exactly the last time it ran. They told me when I bought it in May, roughly May I think it was, that it had been sitting for about a year. Actually, they said about 8 months to a year. But that was fine. Had to push it onto a car trailer to get it home and start putting it back together. I'd like to do a little walk around and show you my $1,500 project truck, Ford Lightning. And it's going to be beautiful, hopefully, when it's done. It's going to take some money, but it is what it is. Let me take you out there. I'll do a walk around and talk to you about the truck. This is 92, but this is her, the barn find. 1993 Lightning. Fourth owner that I can find. She is, looks like she's been through hell and back. We bought her cheap and we want to fix her up. Clear coat is peeling off. She was not running. Wouldn't start. Actually, when I got her, she didn't even have a radiator, a fan, or anything in her. They removed the badges. They put these, I think these are 99 Lightning wheels on it. You kind of see in the sunlight a little bit better. The clear coat is just gone. I believe it's a single stage paint that was factory anyway, but it's not held up well. She's beat up. Dings. Rust a little bit, which is kind of different for down here because we don't really seem to have a rust problem. Windshield's done. I mean, she beat up. They put this SVT hood on here, and to be honest, I'm not a fan. Every time I lift it up, I can hear the water rushing into it. They swapped out the stock Lightning bumper and put, I believe, an F-250 bumper, and then just kind of put the air dam on the bottom with the fog lights on there, a little half-heartedly, but more stuff to fix. The body is really straight though. It's not too bad, not too great either. Paint, as I said, everywhere. Some nice dings here and there. I went through a hailstorm and it dented up the flashing all around the windshield, so it actually leaks water. Some more rust, stuff that can be fixed. Oh man, she's rough. They put an exhaust on here. I have no idea what they put on. Changed out the tail lights to these aftermarkets. She does have the tube bumper, so that's nice. I guess they used it for towing. Tailgate, dents and dings everywhere. I couldn't even get her open right now if I wanted to. It will open though. No major defects as far as wrecks or anything, so that is a definite plus. Right now I actually have the wheel well loose because I had to take it down to get to something inside, trying to get it to run. The interior, yeah. So because it leaked water inside, I have rust that formed kind of on all the metal. Nothing too bad, but just surface rust. Got it in the back here. These parts can all be replaced, and they will be. They really did a number on this. As you can see with the bezel, I actually pulled the bezel off because the one they had on here, I guess they thought they could just glue together, and it was cracked. I mean, it's done. I mean, let's just buy a new one, guys. So same thing, we got some interior parts will be replaced. They apparently put a tack here and ruined what otherwise is a beautiful dash. I believe I have to learn how to do it, but I mean, there's no cracks here, which seems to be really common on these old Fords. So it's really strange what they did to this beautiful truck, but you know what? That's why it ended up in my hands. Seals, window seals, all these kind of things, all this stuff can be replaced. What did catch my eye was, for the amount of money I paid for this, which was really nothing, 2 seats, lumbar even still works, which is kind of crazy, on both seats. So I mean, once I pull this, I need to gut the interior and just clean the carpets, scrub them, and probably end up either replacing the door panels or trying to clean them up. That's kind of in the future. Bad shape, but seen worse. This is terrible. Their gauges they got here, but easy fixes. The concern would definitely be whatever they thought they were doing inside of here. So I believe they did some sort of, or attempted to do some sort of EGR delete, because it was completely unhooked. All kinds of things were going wrong with it. They removed the coffee can and some other stuff. It's really hard for me to track back what is done and what's not done. They installed this K&N filter, and it's literally into the wheel wells where they put the bolt. I don't know if that's how it's supposed to be. I doubt it. There's some loose stuff in here that I did, but that's maybe 1 or 2 things. I've changed a bunch of stuff to try and get this thing running, because she would not kick over once I finally installed, which I believe they gave me the wrong fan shroud, and I got a new one in the house. But I had no radiator, no fan shroud, a loose EGR, which I ended up buying a plate just to put on it with the sensor, which is not the best bet, but I mean, that's all I could do to try and fix. I mean, they have, this thing is just hanging here. I don't even know where this is supposed to go. If I had to remove this, it's literally hanging. And it was supposed to be mounted somewhere, but that's something for another day. My concern was, I wanted to know, did this engine even kick over? It wasn't seized up. What could I do with it, right? Was getting, it would crank, but it wouldn't fire over. And I ended up finding out that I could test the fuel pumps through your test port here by, I'd have to look it up again, a way to ground out one of the terminals and throw a paper clip in there, and it would actually kick on. And through that, I found out that the front fuel pump is probably bad. It wouldn't kick on, but the rear would. So we were getting no fuel pressure. I could not get anything to the fuel rail. Once I narrowed it down to that, I did some reading, and one of the forums put on there that you probably have a bad computer. That's why the fender well is loose right now. To get the computer out of these, to actually pull it out, you can unbolt it right in the firewall. It's loose right now, but it plugs straight in there, and the wiring harness will plug in right here. Okay, so we got it out of there, and I have to show y'all, but the capacitors were just burned, leaking, and one of the capacitors that they said controlled the fuel pumps, or however what would be part of it, was bad. Ordered a new computer. I need to see if this thing runs or not. Got it, installed it, along with some of the air idle controllers and other sensors. Tried my best to get the gas out, because there's no telling how long it had been sitting. Like I told y'all, the sticker says 12 of 17, but I really think that it was probably sitting a little bit longer than that. Just my guess. I don't know what's more dangerous though. Trying to run a truck like this on the road, illegal, or watching out for the spiders and cockroaches that have made a home in here. Fuel pressure. She starts. She idles a little rough. She gasps for air a little bit, but she runs. So you talk about having a good base to start a project truck. Probably need motor mounts. It surge a little bit. Running lean. She's running. There she dips. Struggling. But considering I got her and had to push her on a trailer, I'm happy where I'm sitting at right now. Right now she's rough, but so that's just a little bit about the truck, a little ride around in it, short ride around because I don't want to get pulled over in it. But this is going to be a fun project, I think. It's really a strong starting point. I found out this is actually build number 857 of the red Lightnings from '93. So just cool little details you can find out about these. Plan on basically getting the seats out, getting the carpet out, and steam cleaning, vacuuming, shampooing the carpets, wiping down what I can is the first thing I want to do to it. That'll be the first project I'd like to show. This was more of a weekend killer, and I wanted to show you a cool truck that what I think is a cool truck that I plan on turning into a collector again. So thanks for watching.